As I open the dusty file, marked Mary, Celeste in the Obscura Archive, a chill creeps over me, for within its yellowed pages lies a maritime mystery that has haunted the seas for over a century. It began on a gray December morning in 1872, when the British ship Dei Grazia spotted a vessel adrift in the Atlantic, its sails still set, but its deck eerily empty. The Mary Celeste, a sturdy merchant ship, was sailing steadily, yet no human figure stirred on its deck. No voice responded to the Dei Grazia's hail. As the British crew drew closer, they noticed something was amiss. The ship's sails were still intact, its hull undamaged, but an unsettling stillness hung over it, like the held breath of a sleeping giant. A boarding party was dispatched to investigate, and what they found was a scene of surreal abandonment. The crew's personal belongings still in place, the ship's log and navigation equipment untouched, but not a single soul on board. The only signs of disturbance were a disarrayed life raft and a few scratches on the ship's rail, hints of a hasty departure, but with no clue as to where the crew had gone or what had driven them to leave their ship to the mercy of the waves. The mystery of the Mary Celeste had begun to unfold, a tangled thread that would lead to a maze of speculation and intrigue, with no clear escape from the darkness that lay at its heart. As the crew of the Dei Grazia stepped onto the deserted decks of the Mary Celeste, they were met with an eerie silence, the only sound being the gentle creaking of the ship's wooden hull. The signs of a hasty departure were unmistakable, with personal belongings scattered about, as if the crew had simply vanished into thin air. A sewing machine, half-finished repairs, and a disarray of navigational equipment all bore testament to the sudden and mysterious nature of their disappearance. I have pored over the accounts of that day, and it is clear that the crew of the Dei Grazia were baffled by what they found. The ship's log, typically a meticulous record of a vessel's journey, ended abruptly, with no indication of trouble or distress. The crew's personal effects, including valuables, were still on board, a fact that would later fuel speculation about the nature of their disappearance. The navigation equipment, too, told a story of its own, with the sextant, chronometer, and compass all still in place, but the ship's charts and navigational tools showed no signs of disarray or panic. It was as if the crew had simply dropped their duties and walked away, leaving their ship to drift, a ghostly apparition on the open sea. The picture that began to emerge was one of a crew that had abandoned ship, but the reasons why remained shrouded in mystery. As I delved deeper into the Obscura Archive, the mystery of the Mary Celeste crew only seems to thicken, like the fog that often shrouds the open sea. Theories abound, each one a thread in the intricate tapestry of speculation that has been woven around this enigmatic event. Some propose that the crew rose up in mutiny, overthrowing Captain Benjamin Briggs and taking control of the ship, only to meet a disastrous end. Others suggest that the crew was swept overboard by a giant wave, or perhaps even attacked by a sea monster, a creature of the deep that has long been the stuff of maritime legend. But as I sift through the evidence, I find that these explanations, while tantalizing, are ultimately unsatisfying. The crew's personal belongings, including their valuables, were still on board, suggesting that they did not leave the ship voluntarily. And yet, there is no sign of struggle or violence, only an eerie sense of abandonment, as if the crew had simply vanished into the air. The ship itself, a sturdy vessel with a seasoned captain at the helm, showed no signs of damage or distress, only a faint scent of coal smoke and the faint taste of salt spray on the decks. It is this paradox, this seeming impossibility, that has captivated the imagination of so many and continues to haunt me as I ponder the fate of the Mary Celeste crew. The silence is almost palpable, a heavy stillness that hangs in the air like the promise of a storm to come. The silence that shrouded the Mary Celeste was finally broken by the sound of anchors dropping, the creaking of wooden hulls, and the murmur of curious onlookers as the derelict ship was towed into the bustling port of Gibraltar. The British authorities, ever vigilant, took swift action to initiate an investigation into the crew's mysterious disappearance. I have delved into the records, and the details that emerged are as intriguing as they are perplexing. The ship itself was found to be seaworthy, with no signs of damage or struggle, only a faint scent of smoke and a handful of clues that hinted at a most peculiar tale. The investigators began to scrutinize every inch of the vessel, from the captain's log to the crew's personal belongings, in search of some hint, some whisper of what might have driven them to abandon ship. As I sit here, surrounded by the musty tomes and yellowed manuscripts of the Obscura Archive, I can almost smell the salt air and the faint tang of coal smoke that clung to the Mary Celeste. Theories began to emerge, like wisps of fog on a winter's night, each one more tantalizing than the last. Mutiny, pirate attack, sea monsters, the speculation swirled, a maelstrom of possibilities that threatened to engulf the truth. And yet, despite the many theories, the core of the mystery remained as elusive as ever, a will-o'-the-wisp that beckoned investigators deeper into the labyrinth of the unknown. The investigation had begun, but the truth, much like the crew of the Mary Celeste, remained at large, waiting to be uncovered. As the investigation unfolded, the silence of the Mary Celeste crew was gradually filled by the cacophony of speculation. Theories emerged like sea foam on the waves, each one clinging to the surface of the truth before being washed away by the tides of fact. Pirate attacks, mutinies, and even sea monsters were proposed as explanations for the crew's disappearance. But none of these theories could be proven. The sea, it seemed, had taken its secrets to the depths, leaving behind only the faintest whispers of what might have occurred. I have spent many years poring over the records of the Mary Celeste, and I can tell you that the truth is far more intriguing than any fiction. The ship's log, for instance, revealed no signs of struggle or panic, only the sudden and inexplicable cessation of all activity. It was as if the crew had vanished into the ether, leaving behind only the faint scent of pipe tobacco and the echoes of their footsteps on the deck. And then, of course, there were the strange and unexplained phenomena reported by the crew of the Dei Grazia, the ship that discovered the Mary Celeste adrift. Theories of supernatural events and paranormal activity have long been associated with the Mary Celeste, but these are nothing more than a distraction from the true mystery. The truth, I believe, lies in the mundane, the ordinary, and the overlooked. It is in the everyday details, the small inconsistencies, and the faint whispers of the past that we may yet uncover the secrets of the Mary Celeste. As I reflect on the details of the Mary Celeste, I am reminded that the truth, much like the ship itself, remains elusive, a fleeting presence on the horizon of our understanding. Theories have come and gone, each attempting to fill the void left by the crew's disappearance. Yet the essence of the mystery endures. In the end, it is not the grand or the spectacular that may hold the key, but the small, almost imperceptible threads that weave together the tapestry of this maritime enigma. The creaking of the wooden hull, the gentle lapping of waves against the ship's side, the faint scent of salt and tar, all these sensory details whisper secrets to those who listen. And yet, despite the efforts of investigators and theorists, the silence of the Mary Celeste remains unbroken. The questions that have haunted us from the beginning, what drove the crew to abandon ship, what fate befell them, and what sinister forces may have been at play, remain unanswered, a persistent and haunting refrain. As I close this file, the Mary Celeste remains an enigmatic presence, a reminder that some secrets may be forever lost at sea. I invite you to join me in exploring other mysteries, other files from the Obscura Archive, where the truth awaits hidden in plain sight. The archive holds many secrets, many stories, and many mysteries waiting to be unraveled. The archive never closes,